Many of the girls have been training hard, they've been singing hard. You have to love Toto Africa if you want to be a member of the Oxford team. That's their team song. Will they be singing it, or will Nottingham, who've had to make a few late changes, overcome the power and all that talent in the Oxford team? Let's find out. Greg and Nick, all yours.
It's a familiar face in the Nottingham green. Phelan Hill, the Cox, a late ringer, but he knows a little bit about steering boats. Olympic champion, pointed the GB8 over the finish line in Rio 2 years ago. And a bronze medal with you in London as well, Greg.
That's right, yes. Phelan Hill in the coxing seat of the Nottingham boat, vastly experienced. This is different conditions though, and this is a different crew, and he's got to have the relationship to get the best out of them here today.
Yeah, sport amongst many other things teaches you how to deal with challenges. The simple fact that Nottingham are here at all with a full crew representing some achievement. Last Sunday morning they had a full 8 plus a Cox. By the evening, not so. Both the men's and women's squads filleted by England call-ups to the home internationals across in Ireland this weekend. For Oxford, one of the favourites, already a strong and talented crew, but they arrive here having had decent time together as well in the build-up, drawn 100% from the Tideway Scullers Club beside Chiswick Bridge on the Thames. They've been training since May, 5-6 times a week. Phelan Hill is going to have to use all of his knives to steer this Nottingham boat into contention against Oxford in purple.
And you see the Oxford crew there sitting in a strong position so they can maximise that leg drive on the first stroke, and that's what that crew's done in the purple. They just pushed the boat away and taken a little bit of a lead here early on in this one.
Fascinating to see how they go over 350, Oxford in purple. Over the standard 2,000 metre distance. This is the fastest women's crew that the club has ever seen. They reckon this sprint distance might suit them even more. They are medal winners and they're taking control of this early on.
Well, they're at 43 strokes a minute and they're rowing long, proper strokes. They're really coming right out, right round that rigger and moving the boat a long way each stroke. You can see the blades from this drone shot getting clear of the puddles. They're not getting caught in their own dirty water, and that's moving that boat nicely along at the bottom of the picture.
You can hear Phelan Hill urging Nottingham to keep it going, but it is Oxford with a lead. Crew that looked formidable before the race, containing some of the top club athletes around. Lara Volt, Leela Bernstein, both off to row in the States next year. Stroke Anna Terry has her own Instagram fan page. Tintin Stutter coxed in the reserve boat race, and that quality in that boat have surged them into the semi-finals. Oxford's race.
Yeah, Oxford race was a surge through the middle of the stroke. They got connected together and then they just really looked like they had power through the middle of the stroke, which moved that boat forward, gave it the acceleration, and then they were able to take control of it about halfway through.
Now the first of the semi-finalists, it is Oxford.
Fairly comprehensive win there for Oxford. We thought that might happen.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a shame because Nottingham had it tough, but you know what? It's racing. Probably not a usual position for Phelan, having the last race in an 8 and won a gold, but he brings so much experience to the boat, and the girls have got a huge amount from that.
But they've had to pull that team together late. Success means they've lost a few to England. There are downsides to that. We see that in all sports, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it just shows how great this event is, actually. The fact that the athletes competing, yes, they're not international athletes, but they're there representing the home countries. So the standard is high. And that's what's going to make this so close.
I guess it really isn't such an alien word to all these rowers out here. I mean, when you're training for 2,000 metres for Olympics or whatever, I mean, you're practicing those starts. How long are those practice starts ordinarily?
Yeah, so often we do practice starts from anything from 250 metres to 500 metres because, yeah, that's a quarter of the race. But you know what? We used to actually try and do somewhere between 250 and 500 because quite often if you watch an international race at 2,000 metres, you talk about the first 250, then the second 250. But if everyone does 250, if you do something slightly different, you're going to have an edge over someone else. So we often did kind of 300, 400 metres. And I think that's what these guys are racing here today. They're just doing a start. So it's not an alien distance to them. I think what's different to them is the fact that they're not doing a transition. So they're not going into the main body of a race. And that's what's making it different. So they're keeping that stroke rate high for a little bit longer.